All right. The action is over, and time for some recap and look around and show. Had to put on the fantasy duck alarm real quick. But yes, it's mainly over. All we got left is Bears Vikings, that Pastronaut versus the former Buckeye, and Georginia. If that's I don't know if they call it that. Former Bulldog, I guess. But yes, we still got that left. Vikings most definitely should be favorites, but I don't look into that stuff anyway, so don't matter to me. Let's get right down to the good stuff. As in games, ladies and gentlemen. Is that an ad playing? Yep, we had to skip that real quick. We had the Packers versus Lions. Everybody was like, ooh, Packs. Most people probably didn't think Packs had a chance, but some of their players decided they wanted to come out and do something. Christian Watson being one of them had one of his better games so far. Jillian showed up somewhat with Aaron Jones not being there. Commanders, Cowboys, I don't believe anybody saw anything that would think that Cowboys could lose to Sam, the cow, the moo, Sam Howley, and all of his talented wide receivers just couldn't do it. Obviously, the edge rusher situation we all know about. So, if anything, they're just letting it drop and most likely getting a first round draft pick. I don't know what they do with that. Well, they're not going to get that. I believe it's the Bears get that. Um, if the Panthers continue losing. 49ers Seahawks. This one right here. Seahawks really needed this one to pull away a little bit. At least give it a little push. For that second spot or the second seed team, I guess. But still, 49ers just wasn't going to give it like that. Everything is back intact for them. Defense coverage wise, they could do much better, but it's the 49ers. They got the offense, defense on the line. On the line, the rushing is just outstanding. They don't even blitz like that. That's the crazy part. Is they got so many individually talented fuckers out there. They really don't need to mess around like other teams, just like doing crazy blitz and all. But you don't want to see the blitz anyways from the 49ers. The coverage obviously hasn't been so great, and I believe forget his name, Afangu. I don't know if I said it correct, but I believe he's been out for a couple games. Dolphins got himself a pretty good dub against the Jets, but it's the Jets, so maybe the Dolphins should have gotten more points, but I don't think so because it's the Jets defense. I know their last game they were saying they should have gotten more points, but this one for sure, I believe this is a fair line ride. Um, Buccaneers versus them Couch Indianapolis. Man, would I pay to see Anthony Richardson still be healthy and see what the hell his team would look like? Would this be only a one or two loss team? I believe they had already had one or two losses, I guess, with Anthony. So maybe that's wrong. But still, maybe it was just one because they were looking pretty good. With just Anthony Richardson, Moss out there. Taylor wasn't even out there at this time, and they were still playing good. So the future looks pretty decent for the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know. I don't feel like they've been like they always have some expectation for the past couple of years, even though they're always like not having the quarterback, obviously, ever since the Andrew Luck situation, but they're always like such a good defense and running back play and all that other stuff. It's makes them like at least have a shot for the playoffs. Okay, is what I'm trying to get at. But obviously, a lot of times they drop the ball on that. We all remember the Carson Wentz situation. No, never forget. Never forget. Let's see if we can get a couple more before the fantasy duck hits. Danny DeVito. What a boring shit game this was. I mean, holy shit. Um, the Patriots suck. Let's be honest. They've been sucking. So it's like it's not a secret. I'm making it sound like a secret. It ain't no secret. The Patriots just fucking suck. Which happens. Excuse my F's. But which happens. But Danny DeVito, he comes out there and balls. And ends up getting a dub against one of the greatest coaches ever. How does that feel, Danny DeVito? Wait, did I call him Danny DeVito? Something DeVito, whatever his name is. But he's not actually that bad. That's the crazy part. I thought people were just hyping him up a little bit because I seen him, like, obviously, rooks and players that are not expected to play like or be in that position aren't gonna or somebody like DeVito isn't expected to do so much. They're most likely thinking like a team win. Bengals, man, another team that's just pretty much I don't know what they're fighting for anymore, to be honest. With this Browning guy, and you obviously still got your top players. Like they were probably lucky to even get any points, to be honest. But it's the Steelers. The defense just ain't gonna let you get shit. And finally, they got more than 400 or so some yard. I forget what the freaking stat was, but damn, that Matt Canada was so freaking bad that they had to, like I didn't know they were. I knew they've been bad, but I didn't know the numbers were that bad that they hadn't passed 400 in like 50 games or some shit. I'm like, damn. Fire that guy. A long time ago. They should have been. I mean, the fans were on his ass since like day one, to be honest, on Matt Canada. Broncos, man. Like I said, them teams that are making the last run are doing it now. Those teams, two of those specific teams, Broncos, Rams, and they're looking dangerous. You don't want to be a team you don't want to be their next opponent because they're just on. They're kind of, there goes the fantasy, but they're just both on fire, technically, in a way. Like I feel like the Broncos, Rush should throw more. To be honest, 100%, Rush should throw a little bit more, not too much more because they're winning games and stuff. It's working for them. But personally, I remember there was one drive where they ran the ball every single. I don't believe they threw one time. Every single time they threw the damn ball, and I was like, shit. Why not give one to Sutton? I mean, the crazy catches this man. He's made two of the craziest catches this freaking season. So I don't know, man. Sometimes these NFL coaches, I want to just slap them across the forehead or the back of the head or something and just put some sense in their fucking heads, Too much cussing to it. Eagles, this one was a fun game. Everybody thought the Bills had it. It was just looking like there's no way the Eagles pull it out. And then Amade Zaccheaus makes that last crazy catch. And then the other thing is the first two quarters were just freaking weird. It just Hurts was off. The whole team was just like doing sloppy shit, which is not Eagle-ish, if that makes sense. But yeah, Chiefs looked like they're about to lose as well. But yeah, pretty much the Eagles brought it back. Started balling out. They're looking like the best team in the league right now, all around. But the team I still gotta go with the Chiefs, former champions. They just know how to they're figuring out ways outside of the quarterback tool. So it's just all over the place. It's defense. They've won games with mainly their defense, using the running back play, using different tight ends. I believe Kelsey might be injured. But one other problem I do have with this Chiefs offense is get the damn ball to fucking Rashee Rice, man. A lot of F's coming out today. I usually don't let them come out ever. But when certain teams aren't doing what I feel like they should be doing, I mean, I ain't no damn coach, but Rashee Rice, anytime he gets the ball, this man is a fucking, beast mode out there. Man, them hits the gritty, does what he wants. But a little Conor McGregor just came at me. Pause. But yeah, Rashee Rice, man, he's the man. He's their new guy. I thought Tony was, to be honest, but Tony is just injury-wise and everything. Tony's gadget. He could when he's using those gadget style of plays, he's beast, man. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't remember them using him in the quarter, where he snaps as a quarterback, which I wouldn't mind seeing that a little bit. But yeah, let's go to fantasy. I didn't even look at the I mean, we could look at the standings, but the Bills literally shot themselves in the foot again. Broncos shot everybody else in the foot. Steelers they know how to get away with everything. Browns, might make it unless the Houston Texans and the Colts, just keep playing it out. But pretty sure they've got a couple games scheduled against each other. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked. But let's look at the other side. Look at the other side. And 45 and I believe the Eagles and Cowboys will make it unless like Cowboys start shitting a bit, and I don't see that happening. It would have to take a lot for them to start like shitting the bed, like, and throwing up on the bed and everything. Seahawks, maybe they can get in, but I don't know. I feel like Vikings would get that. I don't know. I haven't actually seen them. Got to look at the matchups and all that, schedule and all that. And then nobody wants to freaking win division or division. NFC South. Yeah, baby. Nobody wants to win here. Even though the Saints and the Buccaneers sometimes they look like they're really competitive teams, just can't do it. Just can't do it. So to me, it's nobody has the clear path, but I believe Falcons have the one against the Saints. I'm not sure if they've had one against the Buccaneers. But yeah, nobody wants to win this. I mean, the South especially, or the South. NFC South. Nobody wants to win it. It's a free for all. But I feel like I wouldn't be shocked if the Buccaneers, eventually ended up. I mean, it's one game, but the losses obviously against their rivals ain't gonna help. Let's go a little fantasy and finish the show off. Let's see how long we'll spend on that. Let's do like 2 minutes or so. That's enough for fantasy. That's too much for fantasy. No, I'm just kidding. Kyren Williams, man, that was back, and that's another big reason why I was on that Rams talk earlier. This guy just came back, made it made a big difference. Obviously, their schedule. Their schedule. They probably have one or two more wins if he was out there. To be honest, this guy's he's one of those players in the NFL who almost slows down time for him. Like, doesn't slow down. It's just the game is a little bit different for him, or he just plays the game different. Is what I'm trying to get. Just one of those players, that just can break tackles and just is aware. Some of these, obviously, Christian McCaffrey's, the majority of the best players in the league are those kind of players. Not all the time, but sometimes, they got the frame and strength and all that stuff. That's all they need. But 100% Kyren Williams is one of those guys. One specific, there was one tackle where the player was going to grab him by the ankle, but he was running, and he just had the awareness to just slip the leg out real quick. I'm like, man, like, how do you do that? Similar to when Russ is running and it's just kind of like, oh shit, this guy, he knows somebody's behind him, right? It's just about to probably strip that. And they don't do it. It's like, how do you keep getting away with this shit? But it'd be like that. Josh Allen with a 39 piece. 39 piece. Man, he's going to go to McDonald's with that. With them now, let's get himself big as Jalen Hurts. For a little bit, it looked like he was going to have a bad game. And I was like, oh shit, because I have him in one league. Just one league. But he came out and he bowled. I was down like 50 points or so, and I ended up getting 150 with him and a couple of other players, Sutton, AJ Brown, and all them going off. Fantasy hasn't been the greatest this year, to be honest. It's been one of, like, after, week 7 or 8, I'm like, damn, I might as well just start paying attention for next year. But Dynasty, we started a league super early, 2-3 on there. And one of those players was Kyren Williams that I picked up, and he just came back, and it maybe make a difference, ladies and gentlemen. Isaiah Pacheco with 25. Looking nice. I believe Clyde Leo got himself a couple of points, but it doesn't seem like he had enough to get on this. There goes the fantasy dog. Let's see the tops of the list. Let's see where running backs go at. The tops. Kyren, obviously. Christian McCaffrey, he's always going to make that list ever since he's been a 49er. Obviously, seems like the injuries aren't that big of a problem. I thought it would be a big problem, to be honest. That's pretty much from overthinking and shit, to be honest. always trying to. I'm always. I don't know why I do it. It's just a bad thing to do. Overlooking players just because they've had an injury or so in the past. I feel like it's ruined some of my fantasy teams because I avoid those guys and those guys end up killing me the next weeks or so. Josh Jacobs, 22. Josh Jacobs obviously been much, much better. Some of us, me, I want more from him, but that's because what I saw last year when I drafted him, I'm like, shit, he's going to have me a couple of them big, big games. But to be honest, not disappointing at all. He's not the reason you're losing or I'm losing. It's our other shitty players that we shouldn't have picked, and which not all the time is our fault. It's these freaking guys who are like legit getting paid to make these rankings and stuff. No, I mean it seems like a hard freaking job to do anyways, but still, do better, guys. Do better. Because I have my bench as the players you guys, some of those professionals told me to get. Obviously, you don't listen to those guys all the times, but this was one of the years where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna listen a little bit more to those guys, the NFL guys who like supposedly are professionals. And this is my worst year ever, fantasy period. I decided I'm like, I need to be a little more open and listen to these freaking guys a little bit more. But once fantasy draft opens up, you're on your own in reality. You either, if you mess up in your three first picks, there's a good chance you mess up, and if you don't pick it up with the waiver wire, you're done. Pretty much what happened to me. Ignored a lot of good players, even though I saw how good they were doing, and I'm like, which is one of my weaknesses in fantasy, I believe, is I ignore too much shit, to be honest. As I ignore when players are just killing it. I ignore rookies sometimes too much, which I did much better this year, to be honest. So we're gonna be so much better next year. No stressing next year, not this year, not the same thing as this year. One of my biggest fantasy, like I don't know why I'm like flexes, I guess, is defense and kickers. They always do good for me. Like I've had one, maybe 2 to 3, but that's nothing to brag about if you're freaking losing every other freaking thing. So yeah, it's gonna be a dang. I totally went off on like fantasy whatchamacallit. Stress talk. You're welcome. I mean, thank you for listening to it. I hope you're not feeling the same way, but yeah, that's gonna be it pretty much. Sometimes, yeah, ladies